me. my
Hey, Cormac, how's it going, mate?
Oh, good. My last class was difficult. I had like a
Yeah.
5-year-old Chinese girl. She didn't want to have
Wow.
any classes. The funny thing is, her mom is very demanding. And
Okay.
sometimes her mom sits in the class, which is fine because the kid will pay attention. But the
Okay.
mom will send me messages. What are you going to do with Penny today? Show me the work that you're going to do, And it's like, okay, so I have to send her messages what I've programmed. But
Well,
today she let the kid by herself, and the kid just didn't put the camera on her. The kid put the camera down on the table and didn't want to have class. She just was talking. She's just like, I'm drawing. Let's draw. So it was like 30 minutes with nothing. I was talking and she wasn't answering the whole class.
that's exhausting.
Yeah, it
The
can be
first
exhausting
range.
after a while. Oh, yes. But
It's good.
I do get hyperactive kids. I, I
Yeah.
teach the adults, I teach on the adult platform, but the adults are using the adult platform for their kids. They're not supposed to, because if I teach kids, I should get paid more money to teach kids. Um,
Yeah,
but
that
I
makes
know I get
sense.
indicated. Some of the parents from China indicate me to teach the hyperactive kids on purpose. So I talk to all the hyperactive ones. But
Yeah.
this kid did not want to pay attention. It's too
Let's draw
slow.
together.
Yeah, let's draw together.
That
I don't mind
person.
drawing. I did that though in the last class. And I have my lessons. I don't want to answer these questions. That's the first thing she said. I was like, okay, let's read a story. I don't like these stories. I have my own story. Then it's let's draw. Uh, I don't know. Her mom's probably going to send me a message. You know, you
Yeah.
didn't give my daughter a proper lesson. I was like, oh God, go away. Go
Yeah.
away.
I also had to cancel our last class together on the
Yeah, that's
last
fine.
weekend because I went to a very beautiful place called Mairinque here in São
Mm,
Paulo.
okay.
It's just besides São Roque. That is a very famous city because of the. It's very popular because of the wine.
Oh, okay, interesting.
It's very
Grapes
traditional
then.
to have the. How do you call those?
Vineyard, it's
Yes,
called.
vineyard.
Yeah.
That's right. It's vineyard. So it's very popular and it's just besides and it's like very countryside. Just dirt roads.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, that's cool. The dirt words are
When
nice.
we went to, I don't know what would be the right name, like a sitio.
So yeah, well, it would be a vineyard then. The vineyard would have the grapes.
It's like a more isolated house than the others, and that is just from the private owner.
Yeah, we usually, well, it depends what it's doing. So we could just, in Ireland, that's very common. You can see houses in the country. You get to say a house in the countryside, but
Yeah,
you could, but if it's a
makes sense.
farm, you could say it's a farm. If the person was raising cattle or if they're growing
Yeah,
crops, you can say it's farm.
yeah.
And if it's a vineyard, it's still kind of like a farm. It's just growing
No,
wine.
it's more like a house in the countryside, and it was very good. Even that there were a lot of old people, because we went with I went with my girlfriend, and the people, the owners of this house, were friends of my girlfriend's father that were from the
Oh,
church.
okay. Okay, I understand now.
So
Okay.
they were like really old and very correct. There
Maybe
was no
maybe they
smoke.
were Germans.
No, but it was very good because even that there was a lot of old people. When you get to talk with some of them, you see that they are very good people. Very.
Well, yeah, I don't think anything different. I think maybe when we're younger, we think of old people might be boring, but I never thought that
Yeah, that's
anyway. As
true.
an Irish person, I
But
just
they're
think
very.
everyone has a story. You know?
Yeah, yeah, that's right. And they are like very, very peaceful,
Yeah, they were
Very,
probably
very,
relaxed.
it was very cool.
And I suppose they like drinking wine, so maybe that's why,
Yeah.
more than young people. But I was going to say, did they mention anything about the wine industry going down or getting worse? Because the
No,
weather is a big problem in
actually
Brazil.
not, because in Mairinque, it's not very popular, the vineyards and the wine culture and stuff. But in São Roque, that it's just beside, is very strong. So
Okay.
it's actually a little bit different.
Sure. But I was just wondering if it was getting worse because, we can see the coffee prices have doubled, right? And it's actually caused by just weather. going to say global warming. It's not climate change, not global warming, because it was both. It
Mhm.
was too hot and too cold that they couldn't grow the coffee properly, and all the prices have doubled. But that affects wine as well, because wine has to have
Yeah.
a certain temperature, and if you have the wrong temperature, you lose the whole wine crop. It's the same thing in France. They used to have the wine was in this kind of center west of France. And now they're saying they can't grow it there because it's either too hot or getting too cold, and it makes no sense. So then they have to move. So you lose a whole industry very quickly this way.
Yeah, I was even talking to with a colleague from work that he consumes a lot of those organic gourmet coffees, you know,
Yeah, I do as well.
and he was telling me that the price of these coffees that tend to be more expensive
Yeah.
uh, did not the
Change.
price did not get higher so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. It's the same. It's the exact same. That's what I'm saying to my wife.
Almost
I
the
was,
same thing. That's the strange thing. So it's perhaps it would be more worthy to buy a higher quality coffee
yeah,
and like pay perhaps
30.
20-30% more
But it's,
than
yeah,
to consume a very poor coffee, you know.
that's what I was thinking too. So, but your quality of coffee, even your ordinary coffee, seems okay. I mean, I'm not a coffee connoisseur, but I do buy the organic coffee because I heard how it's stored is better. It doesn't have mold or any of these things. And normal
Yeah,
coffee might. We just don't
yeah,
know.
that's true.
And we don't get headaches. You're not going to get a coffee headache as well if you drink lots of coffee from the organic
Mm.
coffee. They say you can get that.
He-
Um,
Coffee
but
headache.
yeah,
What
so
would that be?
if you drink coffee and you stop drinking coffee, you can get a really bad
Ah,
headache.
true. Yes, that's true.
Caffeine rich,
I
but you
had that.
get it. But you get it from the ordinary coffee. They say you
I
won't
had
get
that.
that same
I
problem.
had
Yeah, I
that
got that too.
problem.
I got addicted to coffee, and then it's like, oh, I got a headache, and I said to my wife, why am I
I had
getting a
that as
headache?
well.
And I never heard of it before. And I was like, okay, it's coffee. But I don't get the headaches now. And I even if I don't drink coffee, but I'm drinking organic coffee.
Yeah,
So it's the same price. You'll find that the normal coffee is 30 reais and the organic coffee is 30 reais, even though it's in a smaller box. But I usually buy the organic coffee just because they said it's more pure, it's better for your brain, and you're less likely to get the mold and all other things.
yeah,
So
there are a lot of different things in the ordinary coffee, you know. There are like little pieces of rock wood and
yeah,
stuff like that.
that's
So,
why I don't like the tea. There's something wrong with the tea in Brazil. There's so much different types of tea, which is really cool.
yeah.
The problem is, I saw how they were making the tea, and it looked insane. So you have this machine, and it cuts the whole bush into pieces, and it goes, zzz, and they put all the leaves and bark in there, which you're not supposed to do. It's either should be the leaves or just the
Wow.
bark. And I was like, this is insane. But it
They're even
depends on what you're buying.
into birds' poo, you know.
Yeah, everything's in there, a bird's nest. So it's insane. So I was like, okay, this is really bad tea. But it depends what's in it. If you get the chamomile, it's real because they know the chamomile has to be real. If you
Yeah.
buy mint, it's real. If you buy I don't know what it's called. It's the Estrella, the little star. It's like a little,
Anis estrelado.
yeah, Anise Estrella, that one. Yeah, so that's real too. It's when you get the ones with the leaves and there's trees in there, you realize they're just putting the tree and the leaf, and it's like this is really bad.
Yeah.
But
That is.
there's one brand that doesn't do that. I can't remember the brand. I bought it somewhere else. My local shop they don't sell that brand, so it just depends what I'm buying.
Yeah, and it's very perceptible, like to see the difference between an ordinary coffee and a coffee that is has a higher quality, you know, because sometimes when I go to the office or even here at home, there is some ordinary coffee, and I make some just to wake up, you know. And no, it doesn't matter the way I do the coffee. If I put more coffee or less water, if it's stronger or not, it would be very bad the coffee. Like
Mm. I don't know what mark you're using. I don't. Do you know for the ordinary brands that I tried? I always liked Melita of the ordinary brands of coffee. I think
yeah,
that one still tastes fine. There's some of the ones I didn't like the taste of. They were weird or they tasted bad or something, and I didn't like them. But I remember then I used to always buy Melita when I was buying ordinary coffee.
yeah,
Now I go into a Pau do Sucre. It's the only place. Like if I go to Holdao, like the big Atacados, they don't sell the organic coffee. So I
yeah.
have to go to the Pau do Sucre one, and they might have 5 different brands of organic coffee, and I can choose which one I want. I just Orfeo is one. I think that's one I buy. That one has more of the flavors. Orfeo. I think it's spelled. I don't know if it's spelled like this. I don't know if it's this way or is it
Or four, I don't know.
something like this.
I saw it on uh, Amazon. it's very popular that you see some ads of this coffee on Amazon.
Really? Okay, well, I see this. They have like different brand. They have different flavors, which is kind of unique, and they'll have a fruity one, which that tastes weird sometimes. If you're not used to drinking, you're like, "Oh, this is so bizarre." Yeah, but I don't. I think it's okay. I don't really like it because I'm so
Yeah.
used to the dark coffee. And then there's the tack. I think it's the. I think that's the brand name of Pau de Sucre. I think that's what it's called. I don't pronounce this word tacky or something, but it's organic as well. They'll have their organic brand as well. Um,
Yeah.
so I usually buy the
Okay.
yeah. I think it's the organic brand of Pau de Sucre. I don't know, and there's one other one as well. So I buy
Oh, yeah,
those ones
this
usually
one.
because they're organic,
Okay. Yeah, and
and
it's
I
very
switch
funny.
around.
It's very funny because like here in my house, my father drinks a lot of coffee, and then sometime I went to drink a little cup of coffee. I always drink with no sugar,
Yeah,
and it was very bad. Like I almost threw up. I'm not
yeah,
kidding.
yeah. Initially, oh
And then
really?
when I
Okay,
saw
well,
why my dad likes coffee so much, because he puts a lot of sugar, like a lot of, like
I can't do that.
perhaps 5 spoons of sugar in one
Oh
cup
my
of
lord,
coffee. That's
that's
craziness.
insane. My sister does the same. That's so unhealthy. Yeah, my sister would do it with tea.
It is
Yeah.
unhealthy, and it is not coffee.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. It just tastes like sugar water with a little bit of coffee. Yeah, you taste that when you go to the shops that give you the free coffee. I was used to that in Brazil, and after a while, I was like, "This is disgusting." I was like, "This either tastes like water or it tastes like sugar more than coffee."
Yeah,
And I decided to drink coffee without sugar because I would watch so many people like in America, and it's like, "Oh no, you should drink coffee without sugar. The sugar is unhealthy, and it's better." So then I just tried, but
yeah,
it takes around a week to get used to it. If you drink it without sugar for a week, I think you just get used to the taste. And same with tea,
yeah.
I did the same thing. And then when I got used to the taste, sugar tasted bad. It was so weird. It's like, wow, I hate it with sugar now. But it's just about
Yeah,
getting used to it.
and this culture is very strong here in Brazil. You can see that almost everyone like sugars his coffee or maybe his tea with a lot of sugar. For me,
That's too much.
it was no different. My father always liked to put a lot of sugar or maybe a lot of salt uh, in his
Food.
food. But then I started to drink coffee without sugar, and then it is like I almost start to feel better without taking the sugar.
Of
And
course,
then
sugars makes you sick. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, and when you try to cut off most of the sugar in your life, like drinking soda, uh,
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I cut it
eating
off.
candy, it's it's that thing that your body starts to reduce inflammation, right?
Exactly. That's what it shows if you go to the ketogenic diet or the carnivore diet. Those diets, again, they show they're not good long term. But if you do it for like 5 days or something, you get rid of all the
You feel
sugar,
a
you
difference.
get
Yeah,
all the inflammation out of your body. And that's why it's good to try. I don't have white sugar in my house, for example. So I do use chocolate. That's something I do make a lot, but I don't have white sugar because I know it's bad. I have sucre mascavo. If I need to use something with a cake, I'll try use that. And I
yeah,
try to make my own
oh,
food.
it's
So
good.
I made my own chocolates yesterday, but I used like linhaça,
Yes,
chia, uh, prunes, ameixa, cranberry, uva passa. I mixed them all together,
that's
and
great.
then I put chocolate around them. But and I'd use the dark chocolate, and then I'd have them with
Yeah,
my coffee. So it's kind of like a healthy snack. Dark chocolate with all this stuff, it gives you more energy.
yeah,
So
that's great.
you have to try change everything, because it's like, okay, well, I can still eat chocolate, but try and make it more healthier chocolate, or something that's good for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, Also, one thing about the sugar, when you start to consume a lot of sugar, you start to swollen up, and it's different because I am a thin guy. I'm not fat. I mean, I am like almost like very thin for my height.
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah, you
but
would be.
when I was like consuming a lot of chocolate every day, a lot of soda every day, like I almost drink 1 liter of soda every day.
Wow, that's so crazy. That's
For me,
absurd.
it was like nothing, and then
Wow.
I just cut off, and my face was like swollen up,
Yeah,
very.
that's what I say in Brazil. I keep on telling my wife, Brazilians look really swollen. Their faces, their
Yeah,
heads are
it is
bigger than
because of
normal
that,
people.
and it's this is because of that. I see a lot of people like
And bread can cause it too, though. I think too much carbohydrates in our food, like we eat too much pasta.
Yeah,
Rices are lighter, but too much rice or pasta, right? And you eat too much of that, and that could be. But I think it's the soda is the number one cause, because again, if I go to my local shop, I'll see people coming by 6 sodas. They come back and they're just buying soda all the time, and they're huge. These guys are all huge. I don't know how they drink it all the time. Yeah.
yeah, it is also getting very popular, those free sugar sodas, like the Coke or even
Yeah,
Pepsi.
but I still don't know what they're putting in there. That's the problem. You see, someone said they could be putting something else that's sugar-free, but something else that's kind of like sugar and has the same
I know
negative
that
effect.
I know that for Guaraná, that is the free sugar. They put another type of sugar. I don't remember the name,
Yeah, I know there's
and
Zysopol,
it's
something weird with
like
X, X
I
place.
remember hearing from a friend of mine that this type of sugar it almost gets stuck on the stomach.
All
So
right, that's the other problem. Yeah. So it's like they're trying to beat the system. They're trying to say, look, we're not using sugar, we're using this. But then you find out
but it
this other
doesn't
thing is
work.
it doesn't work. That's what I mean. It doesn't work, and that's why I'm always wary of these. Like they showed that Diet Coke was worse than normal Coke. Like Diet Coke wasn't sugar free, but Diet Coke was worse than that one. And the sugar free ones, I still don't know what they're putting in. So that's the problem. They just want people to still buy their drinks and have them very sweet. I think I said it to you before about Subway. Did I? Subway in Ireland? Maybe I don't. In
I don't
Ireland,
remember.
okay, in Ireland, Subway couldn't sell their if they had to sell bread in Subway in Ireland, they said they couldn't sell it as bread. They had to sell it as cake because the bread had so much sugar in it. They said it wasn't bread
Oh,
anymore. Isn't that crazy?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's part of the problem. You don't know what bread is then. You don't know how much sugar they're putting in the bread. I remember one time buying pau integral in the shop, and then I was like, that doesn't look like it's integral. It doesn't look like it's whole wheat. And they're like, oh, it's a new formula. And I was like, yeah, but it looks like you put white flour in there and mixed it
Yeah.
with the other one, and then it isn't anymore. So I asked, and I was like, yeah, they mixed the flours, and I was like, then it isn't whole wheat. It isn't integral anymore. So I don't want it. You know, why do that?
Yeah, here in Brazil is very complicated. It is almost like I know those like when you're going to buy a little ice cream on the McDonald's. You're not like buying an ice cream. It's another name for it because of the taxes. So for some things they change the name of the product to reduce the taxes they pay to the government. So I remember the one for the leite moça.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
They
Yeah.
did not sell like it was. I don't remember the name. They sell like bebida láctea.
Okay, they just changed the name so they don't have to pay the higher tax for it. Okay. Yeah, that's weird. I'm sure people do that all the time though to get around everything. It's kind of annoying. And same with health things, they change it around to pretend they're selling healthy food and it mightn't be. It's
Mhm.
crazy. I saw the other day something really interesting. There's two drinks I was looking at. Inhale is one. So I'm going to type it in. Yeah, one second. Type it in. Inhale. It's a simple word, but you won't find that. It's called. Oh, I wrote it down because I said it to someone the other day. I had a guy, a banker, who was looking for stuff to invest in, and I said this is kind of an interesting product. It's called Inhale. Okay, super oxygenated water. That's what it is.
Super oxygenated water.
Yeah, so you have to type in that afterwards because inhale just doesn't mean anything. But it's water with extra oxygen. And the thing is, right, if you want to get
Yeah,
extra oxygen in your body, it can be hard. Like you might have to go to a hyperbaric chamber. These things are really expensive.
yeah, I've
And
heard about this.
so, but this guy's like, oh, I made water that's super oxygenated and it can have a similar effect. It's not as powerful, obviously, as the hyperbaric chamber, but you can buy it. But it's just a really good idea. It's just available in America, though. You can't get it here. There's another really cool one I said to a guy to invest in as well. And I said it's called True Cava. I don't know if it's spelled together, one word, or two words. I don't remember. So they spell true without the E, okay, just if you're wondering.
Cava.
So Cava is a root from Vanuatu. And
Okay.
in Vanuatu, they take it like an alcoholic drink, but there's no negative side effects to this drink. So some guy made it into a beer. And he goes, now you can get True Cava beer. So you get all the benefits of drinking something like alcohol, but there's no negative effect. You understand? You don't get
Wow.
dehydrated. You don't lose control. You don't get hangovers. And I was like, oh, that's such a brilliant product. And I was like, ah, if it was in Brazil, I would buy it because then I could drink this instead of beer. Or I would drink the water if I wanted to go outside. You know, it'd be better water. They're not available here, but they're good ideas to
Yeah.
import into Brazil. Or if someone could make them in Brazil, then I think they would sell. Because who doesn't want the effects of alcohol without the negative effects of alcohol? And of course, if you're going to the gym, super oxygenated water is pretty good too.
Well, that sounds very good. You know, I am thinking what would be the taste of this beer. You know,
Oh,
would it
well,
be
actually, the
like a
taste
normal
itself.
beer, or it sounds a little bit different?
Well, actually, the taste itself, I think they make it like a ginger beer. So I think the flavor.
Oh,
So
okay.
so the flavor of this cava itself is like muddy water. That's what they said. It's like drinking mud. So it probably doesn't taste nice. So they have to change the
Yeah.
flavor. So it tastes probably like a beer flavor with ginger. That's what I think the flavor is. You can look up their site. They have a site called True Cava, and they have that site in pale as well. Unfortunately, you can only buy these products from the website, which is really annoying. If they should be available everywhere. And if they're available everywhere, I think they'd have a massive market around the world, you know? Like I always think if someone wants to invest, these two things would be fantastic to invest in.
Sure, of course. It would be like something more for the how can I say, for people that are athletes, you know, like this oxygen water. I entered the website and it's very, very, very. All the proposition of the product, it's all for athletes, you know,
Sure,
like
yeah. They want to be hydrated better and get more air in the
performance
system. But
athletes.
it works for sick people too, you see. A lot of people who are sick don't have enough oxygen in their body. That's why people go to hyperbaric chambers. So if you're sick, you think you get healed better with the oxygen. So that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Anyone can use it. It's really good. It's more like a real health product. And it hydrates you better than water. So I think people would buy it. And of course, if you don't want to drink alcohol, which makes you sick, you take the True Cava if you're an athlete as well. There's another thing called, I think it's called the 3X bar or the X3 bar. I don't know if you know about that one. I don't know if we told you about that one before either. So this guy made some invention, and he said, if you want to get stronger, quicker, more quickly, this works better than anything else. I don't know who invented it. Let me type it in now because I'm not quite sure. It's better to know than the 3X bar workout. I don't know. I think it was a guy Gary Brecka who invented this. X3 bar, I think it's called. I have to see it first because I have to see a picture. I didn't click on the picture. 1 second. Yeah, it's this one. X3. Yeah, X3 bar. It's called. And
Yes, I'm seeing here.
yeah, well, it's just like far more effective way to exercise. They'll just say you get stronger more quicker and less of the time. And it's got to do anything on a pulley. I will say pulley, what you call, I don't know what that's called, elastic. Anything on those elastic or pulley
Yes,
is
yes.
better because it tricks your muscles. So when you're lifting a weight, your arm will shake. A free weight like a dumbbell, it will make you shake. But if you lift something on an elastic, like that's why they're so good in the gym, the pulley we call them, it's better because your brain doesn't realize it and your body doesn't realize it. So it's better for your muscles to work
Wow,
out.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I can't remember. There's
That's
like science behind
interesting.
it.
I see a lot of people training with elastic bands, you know.
Yeah, it works, but it works better. It tricks your. I don't know why it works because it's like if you're lifting something heavy, your body knows this could be dangerous for you and tell you not to lift it, so it makes you shake more. So if you're using the elastic, it feels different. The resistance is different, and your body doesn't interpret it as dangerous. All right, and that's why you can lift more or in a more effective way. But I mean, most gyms nowadays have things on rope or pulleys, we call them, and
Yes.
you can buy the elastic. But that one's supposed to be better. That X3 bar. I mean, I've heard it again. I told you I like listening to those podcasts I sent you before, the Human Upgrade podcast or
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
guys always give me these new things. So yeah, that happened this week. The guy was talking about the water, and I was like, okay, interesting. I like this
Yeah,
idea.
yeah, I can imagine. So I want to start doing cold plunges, you know, but it's very hard here because I would have like to buy ice every time. So I was searching up for to buy a freezer, you know, those ones like that's almost a cubicle, you know, so you can reuse the ice. You don't have just to
Use
buy
your
ice
one,
every time
sure.
because
And cold plunge only works, people say with cold plunges, you don't have to stay in there for 2 minutes. That's a mistake. It's actually just the shock to your system. So actually you only need 30 seconds. That's all you need. It's the shock of your body wakes it up and it gives the adrenaline rush and
Yeah,
or the dopamine. So it says, well, if it's a hot one, heat works very well as well. So if you use a sauna, the sauna is supposed to be 20 minutes, 25 minutes,
yeah.
but the
I also
cold
like
plunge is only 30
saunas
seconds.
very much. I remember when I was going to Guarujá, my girlfriend had in my girlfriend grandmother's had an apartment down there, and it had a sauna, and I would stay like 30, 40 minutes, like very easily, and I got out of there and I've jumped like directly on the pool, just for the
Yeah.
shock. And what's very, very good, very,
Yeah,
very.
it is good for you. That's why, they did the test of people in Finland, and people from Finland are less likely to die of heart disease than anyone else because it's part of their culture to do the sauna, and they do the cold plunge as well. So
Yeah,
and also you sweat out all the toxins. That's the good thing. We're full of
yeah.
toxins in our body.
That's the thing about sauna, right?
Yeah, well, it kills everything. So right, it sweats out the toxins. It kills bacteria, parasites, and worms, and everyone has these things over time. So this is why it's so good. It also acts like a very good exercise for your heart, and it can also maybe be good for your brain as well. So this is why it's so good. So saunas and infrared saunas are better, but they don't really have those in Brazil, I don't think. Infrared ones, they're the best ones because that will
Yeah,
kill your skin on the outside as well. And you can get you can get an infrared sauna tent, which is someone said it's just as good because you pay lots of money if you want the proper sauna, but if you get a tent, you can put it in your house for a cheaper price. So they're doing that in America
yeah.
using those tents. It's like a hack. Same with red light. Red light therapy
Um,
is another hack too. Red light has infrared.
Red light. Yeah, I know. I saw that guy Brian Johnson, the guy
Yeah,
who wants to
yeah.
live forever.
He's a bit too crazy
Doing
though.
that.
Yeah, but a lot of people do that. I don't really like him because I think he's a bit too intense, and I don't know if he has a talk or OCD with this stuff because he's a bit too weird for me. What's the other one? Methylene blue. So if you take I don't know how to spell this word. Methylene. I'm just gonna guess meth. I'm spelling it wrong. Meth. No, I'm just gonna type in a bad spelling and type it in,
Okay.
and then you can look it up and it will correct you on Google.
Ah,
Methylene.
yes, azul de metileno. It's the
Azulometalina, yeah.
translation.
I have it in my house too,
We
so
saw
this
about that, but
it's really good
uh,
for you as well.
this as well here in Brazil. I saw a lot of posts that people saying that it would improve the cognitive functions of the
Yeah,
brain,
it's
like reduce the
80%.
risk of Alzheimer and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
So it's the energy system. So it gives energy to the cells. So it goes straight to your brain as well. So you don't need lots. You don't overdose on these things. There's a problem taking too much. But you put it in water, and if you do it with the red light therapy, it makes it even better. It makes you observe. It's something that blue absorbs into the red absorbs into the blue. So I know this sounds really weird, but if you use the red light and take the metaling blue, it knows it's in your system, and you'll absorb the red light even better. So people mix them together. The other thing I gave you up there is a weird trick. It's called dual end back. It's a pain in the ass. I've done it before. So some people say this will improve your IQ. Okay, so I'm going to give you a free site for it because I have it open today. End backing. So there's one called Brain Scale, but then you have to wait 30 seconds to do that one all the time. And there's another one called End Backing, and this one's free. I'm going to send you this website's free.
Brain scale.
Actually, they're both free, but Brain Scale you have to wait 30 seconds in between doing one of the tasks.
Oh wow, that's very good.
And End Backing is you don't have to wait at all. Some guy invented it. It's a newer one. But what this does, right, it's really hard. So you have to remember things like letters and places, okay? And you have to remember them 1 back, then 2 back, then 5 back. So you have to remember, did you see it or did you hear it? And you can go up to 9, 10, 12. Geniuses can do that. But if you keep playing this game, it trains your brain and both hemispheres of your brain to remember things. All of a sudden, if you keep playing this game, your memory will get brilliant and you'll remember things you never remembered before. I've done it. Listen to it. It's really annoying, Nicholas. I don't know if you can keep it up, but they say you have to do it like 15 days in a row and play 20 times per day. Okay, and you have to play 20 times per day. So that means like one thing.
20 times per day?
Yeah, but it's really short. Do you understand? It's like one session is like a minute. Do you understand? So maybe it's like 20 minutes or 25 minutes.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
But it depends how you play it. So when I played it initially, I would do it right up to the start, and I remember thinking, "This is hurting my brain. I hate this game." But I got up to like eight back. I was doing up to eight. And I didn't know how I was doing it. I was trying to think, how am
Am
I
I a
remembering
genius?
this? Yeah, it seems crazy that I could do this. And I was like, how am I doing this? I don't know. But then sometimes your brain just fries and you can't remember anything. And then you drop down a level, you go to 7, then you go back to 5 or 6 and go, I can't remember anything. But I'm starting again because I was listening to the guy, Dave Asprey, the guy who does Human Upgrade. And he goes, he believed that this increased his IQ by 12 points. He's like, this was the highest thing that increased my IQ other than nootropics. So nootropics would be the smart drugs like L-tyrosine.
Yeah.
But they really said, what a lot of people say too, is psilocybin or LSD. I know these ones are more stronger drugs, or ayahuasca. So psilocybin is the magic mushrooms, okay? But when I say this, it's only a small dose. It's called a microdose. It's like less than 10 milligrams. I've never tried this, but they say if you take less than 10 milligrams, it opens up the creativity in your brain and you'll think differently. So I was just reading a book on it because, again, on those guys, I think it was the Human Upgrade channel, I was listening to 2 guys who were specialists talking to Dave Asprey about this, and he go, microdosing either LSD, microdosing magic mushroom, psilocybin, or there's something St. Cactus de Sao Pedro or something like that as well, and ayahuasca. It opens up your brain a bit better, and then you can think differently, and it makes you smarter because you're thinking differently. Like you use a different part of your brain, so you can learn faster, be creative, and get more ideas. So these guys said this increased their IQ, maybe like by 10 points, and dual end back was the other thing.
10 points of IQ would be like a very, how can I say, it would be very much,
That's really high. That's what they're saying. That's what I said.
Standard deviation.
Yeah, it's a massive standard and deviation. So a lot of people, though, if you read books about people who did take psilocybin or LSD in small doses, it has to be small doses, okay? Or otherwise you could have serious problems. That it did make them smarter. They thought better. They got better concentration. And again, dual MBAC is about memory. You're training your memory and it's concentration and memory because you really have to focus. And then after a while, you'll just realize you're remembering things better or something. But it's hard. I do not like dual MBAC. That's why I did it ages ago, and then I stopped it. I was like, I'm not doing this game again.
I will try that. I will try that at least this week, this full week. Then next week I will bring you the results.
Yeah, I was doing it. So I'm doing it this week. I started again. I've done it 5 days in a row, but I'm not going up a level. I'm doing something. I'm kind of cheating because because when I do the one on brain scale, you automatically go up a level when you're better. But on this one, I'm keeping it on level 3, and I'm trying to perfect level 3 that I get 100% all the time. And I can do that. Then I'll go up to level 4 and try to do 4 for like a couple of days to see if I can stay on level 4 and perfect level 4. Because I think when I go up and down, it's harder because I keep on forgetting am I on 4 back or 5 back, and I'm trying to remember. It really taxes your brain though.
Wow, it sounds hard, but I think it takes a little bit of practice, just to get used to.
That's what I said. When I got used to it, I did get up to 9 back once, and then I would stay in 8 back and 7 back, and I was like, okay. But I think I was comfortable on 4 or 5 back, which is okay. But now I don't remember. I'm starting again, so I have to get used to it again. Yeah. These are all the hacks. So I love listening to those people who have these hacks for exercise, hacks for, again, as I said, when you wake up in the morning and you do jumping jacks, your blood flows and you're in the mood, then it's better. And he'll talk about too, I told you, his other brain hack was putting the MCT oil in the coffee. And he has even better MCT oil in his coffee. He got a special one that he made that was even more effective. And he doesn't even put it in his coffee. He puts it on the salad. He uses it as oil on the salad. Yeah.
That's strange. I thought that people would use only for the bulletproof coffee,
Oh no, you can use it any way you want. It's just how he used it. He invented it with the bulletproof coffee.
It is almost like the coconut oil, right?
It is, because it's extracted from coconut oil. So it does come from
right.
So it is from the coconut oil. It's just a more pure extraction of it. So it's far more effective. And coconut oil tastes weird. If you put coconut oil in your coffee, it will taste oily. When you put MCT oil in your coffee, it doesn't taste oily. You don't notice it's there. It's the butter, because you can put in the butter as well. The butter purifies the water. It makes the crystals in the water more perfect, we'll say, with the butter.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
So Do you think you have a strong personality?
Yes.
I answered that question in the last class, right?
Yeah, I think that was the very end one. That was the very last question. Sorry. So I was typing. I just got my last ones up there. Okay.
What
Yeah.
personality types are you attracted to?
These are people who become your friends, we'll say.
Wow, I really can say like just one type of personality because I get along with different types of people, you know, like people who are more introverted or people who are more extroverted. But I think I tend to get along much better with people that are a little bit more introverted, you know, because I think it would be easier to, how can I say, attract themselves to myself and to start a conversation, you know, making them feel comfortable around me, or even a topic that they are more comfortable because I see that some people, when trying to communicate with someone that is very introverted, uh, they don't try to make themselves more comfortable. So you can see, like by the body language, that they're not comfortable with the situation itself. You know, so you see that the person it's annoyed. You know, she wants to get out of the situation.
Sure,
So
yeah, it's funny, but it's not because they really want. I think it's fear. You know, some people are too introverted. It might be shyness, which is really fear. They might want to, but they don't know how. That can happen too.
yeah,
Uh, I think for me though, when I'm talking to people, I think people who become my friends are just people who are kind of friendly. I will say that's it. I don't think I have the high standard, but you know, there's some people if I have more in common with, you're going to be more friends with, right? The only people I don't like are someone who comes across as a bit more aggressive, and then I won't like them instantly, I guess.
yeah.
Um, do you know anyone who has a split personality, multiple personalities, or that range? The range is in Brazil. You know, in Brazil, they're either angry, happy, sad. They go up and
Yeah,
down.
like that one movie from I don't remember the name. The guy who has I think it's Split, the movie Split. You know that the guy has
Oh yeah,
multiple
fragmented.
personalities,
No.
but it's a disorder, right?
Yeah, but that was schizophrenia. Yeah, but people actually, yeah, that's a disorder. It's not actually schizophrenia, to be honest. Yeah, it was called Fragmented. Is that the film you're talking about?
Yeah,
Fragmentado.
yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah. That's more. Yeah, he actually really had multiple personalities. You know, in real life, though, people who have multiple personalities don't really exist, and people confused it with schizophrenia. But people who have
Oh,
schizophrenia actually have paranoia and illusions. So sometimes they're seeing things that are not there. So people and they talk in a different way. So people think they have multiple personalities, but they don't. It's just one person who's kind of crazy.
yeah,
But you also have a split personality as someone can be, we'll just say, not that they have two personalities, but someone who's nice to you one day and rude to you the next day. You know, those type of people.
yeah. I know a lot of people like that. What
Yeah, people
word
always tell me it's their
would sum
boss.
up your personality? Just answering the question before, I know a lot of people like that. Someday like everything's fine and the word is very good, and the other it's like hell, you know. So the people do not want to talk about anything, you know. So it's very hard dealing with people like that.
Yeah.
It's almost like the person is bipolar, you know.
Yeah,
So
I realize that's very
very-
common in Brazil. So, like, my
it's
father in
not
law is that way.
pleasant.
Yeah, my father in law is that way. One moment he's normal, and the next moment he might shout and get really angry. And I was like, what is wrong with you? Why are you getting angry? It's weird for me.
Yeah. Okay. What word would sum up your personality? Well, it's hard to say, you know, but like you said, I think I can adapt very well to uh, the people I'm talking to, the environment I'm inserted to. So I think it would be flexible, you know.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. I would say I'm more flexible, adaptable person. Nothing
Can you
really
really
bothers.
find out things about someone's personality from their star sign or blood group? Well, I think it can help, you know, the about the how do you say like the
Zodiac, is it?
yeah, the zodiac horoscope, I think.
Horoscope. Yeah, that's the other word. Yeah, we call them star sign
Yeah.
and zodiac sign or horoscope.
So I think about the 12 horoscope signs, uh, they tend the people that it's from that sign. Is it correct to say
Yeah,
that that
yeah,
sign?
yeah. Our people
So
have
the
that
people
sign.
who has that sign tends to act like the character the
Maybe they're reading. Yeah, well, maybe they read their sign and adapt to their sign. I don't know.
Yeah, but some people actually don't know nothing about the horoscope, the zodiac signs. So it's like almost a pattern. It's not always like the same thing, but it tends to be a pattern, amongst people.
Sure. Yeah. I also know
I
because
can see that.
if you study the real zodiacs from India, they when they study it, it's not actually the month you're born in is so important. It's actually the month, the day, the time, and what city you're born in, because you're in a different part of the globe. So that will make
Yeah,
you a different personality, not just the sign itself. It's actually far more detailed than you think. But
yeah, that's
I,
true.
I don't know how it works though, because I've never done mine because they want to know your exact birthday, what city, and all that stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But I went to school with a guy, and he was born the exact same day with me, and he was an asshole. I was nothing like the guy,
No.
and I was
Or
like,
maybe you just did not like him, and he was a normal guy.
no, he would.
And
No one
perhaps
liked.
you were the asshole.
No one liked him. No, I swear, no one liked this guy. This guy was super metido. He was always condescending, and he didn't really have any friends. I realized he was by himself because he was always rude with people. He was always rude. I don't know what his problem was, but I
Yeah,
realized no one liked the guy. Joe Kelly, I remember him.
yeah. Talking about that, it's very common. Like when you have someone that uh, was born in the same day, or even like very near from the day you were born, you tend to not get along well with that person. I see that with people that or even has the same horoscope sign as mine, or even has the personality very very similar to mine. We tend to not get along so well.
Okay, that's unusual. I don't know. I think I'm kind of flexible with everyone. Actually, when I was younger, all my friends were very different, and they always used to annoy each other. So actually, my best friend is not so nice. Everyone say he's really grumpy in a bad mood.
Yeah.
But he was my neighbor. That's why we were friends. So we'd walk to school together all the time. But I had a very boring friend, and who was annoying. I had a really hyperactive friend. So they were all very, very different. I had one that was kind of metido as well, and no one liked him for that reason.
Yeah.
And I had a friend who used to like to lie. Isn't that crazy? They were all so different.
Yeah.
Do you think you have an outgoing personality?
I think I do. I think I am a little bit extroverted, but not that one person who wants all of the attention when he arrives in an environment. It's you can see the difference. I am someone that likes talking to everyone in that environment, know what's going on, to get to know more about that people, about that person, but not like, oh, I want to whole fold on me, and I am the center of all attentions.
Yeah, you don't want to dominate the conversation, we'll say. Okay.
Yeah, it can be not most of the times, because when I'm meeting someone new, I always let the person talk more, and I'm just listening, just making like how you would say, like open questions, just to bring more conversation to the table.
Yeah, that's good.
So I think it would be like that.
Now, I think it depends with me. If I drink beer, I probably talk too much. Because I'm not thinking. I'm not thinking of what I'm saying. I just talk.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you like taking personality tests? Do you think they're accurate?
Oh, I actually like taking personality tests. I always take some. I take very often that 16 personalities test.
I know that one. Yeah, yeah. That's
I
only
think it's
Chinese
very
people.
accurate, about the 16 personality types, because I know that has 18 aspects, like would be introverted, extroverted, something like in
Judgmental,
yeah,
creative. I can't remember.
judgmental.
I can't remember
If
what
you're
they all
more
are.
prospecting, if you're
Yeah,
tend to be more intuitive or sensing guy. So I feel like it's very accurate, because when you get someone, you know, like perhaps your brother, your father, mother, and you try to how can I say, to put in some of these 16 personalities, and you find the right one, you see that it's very very accurate, you know. At least for me, I tried that, you know.
As long as you're choosing it, because some people said they've done it and it depends on their mood. Like if they're in a good mood,
Yeah,
they're extroverted.
yeah,
Bad mood,
that's
they're
true.
introverted. But also when I done it, I remember mine was so close, it made no difference. I'm like 55, 45, 55, 45. So I was like, okay, I can't really be put in a group. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember the when I did the test, the only thing that it was very balanced was the introverted and extroverted.
Yeah, I
Like
got the
I
same.
was not the a very extroverted person, like I said. I was like a 60% extroverted and 40% introverted. But the other aspects, like it was judgment, it was like 99%.
Oh, wow, that's really extreme. Wow. Yeah, okay. I was 55,
Yes.
45 with everything. I think 55, 45 was
So
everything on
it
mine.
was the only one that was very balanced. The other ones, like it was very extreme, like 99, 98%.
Wow. Wow.
So so I don't know. I think it really depends
I have to
because
do it again because I can't remember what I got, but I know it was all even.
yeah, I remember the one I've got is okay. What major change would you like to make to your
Oh yeah, sorry, I just
personality?
typed it in before you were talking.
No, okay. I can answer. What major change? It's hard to tell, but I think with people that I know more, like my family, perhaps my girlfriend, would be better if I like open myself more because with
Mm.
everyone I know, I always tend to not open my feelings. You know, when it comes to this aspect, I'm a very closed guy. You know, so
Ah,
if I'm going through a problem or something hard in my life,
oh, for those things.
I just keep it to me and go straight through. And you know.
Okay, okay, I understand in that sense. I was like, you seem very open to me. You talk about everything. Yeah, okay, but when it's something deeper feeling, you want to keep it in. Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
that's true.
that's fair enough. But I think most people do, as long as it's just the person closest to you. So again, if you share it with your girlfriend, it's fine. You don't have to share it with strangers.
Yeah,
Americans are quite open with that. It's so weird. I find that very weird.
I know. I see that.
They'll tell you, they'll meet some guy in the bus. Oh, I'm very depressed today. I lost my dog died. And I'm like, what? Are you telling me this for? You're giving me your whole life.
I would
We don't
never
really
tell
do
this
that.
to anyone, you know, like even to my father, you know.
Yeah, yeah, I wouldn't do it with my
I
parents.
don't,
That's true. I don't think I
I
would
don't
do it with my
speak
parents.
those kind of things.
Yeah, it's kind of
So
weird. Yeah.
yeah, so I think it would be a nice thing, like to open myself a little bit more about some things.
Well, that's good.
That's,
Yeah. And but if you're again, if you're aware of the problem, you can change it. Most people don't have awareness to change. Okay. Whose personality do you like best out of all the people in the world?
wow.
Helicopter. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
It's right over my building. What is it doing? No
Well,
naked
that's the
sunbathing
part.
today.
They're not like a certain type of personality I like the most. Like a friend of mine that it's my best friend, you know. I love him, and then I want to spend all my time with him because his personality is the best one. But
Okay, good.
I really can say this. I don't have like a favorite one, you know.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. I'm just trying to think of who do I really like, or aspire to. Like some people in Turkey will say Ataturk because he was so smart. He was the leader of Turkey back in the 1920s, and he'll say why he
Yeah,
was intelligent and what he changed to revolutionize the country because he changed the alphabet, made it modern, changed the education system. Um, and I well, like when I'm picking someone, I'm trying to think of who I liked, but it was really fun and energizing. So I picked Robin Williams because he was an actor, but he always was so funny in real life. He always seemed like he was always joking and playful. So I always enjoyed him when I see his movies or saw him speaking. But he killed himself. This is the worst part. He killed himself.
yeah. There are
But
some conspiracy theories like that he did not kill himself, you know.
oh,
Like
really with him? Okay. But there was a
yes,
reason behind
like
it.
Chris Cornell, the singer, you know, Chris Cornell.
Chris Cornell. Okay, yeah.
So there are a lot of conspiracy theories that they not kill themselves, like they were involved in some deeper things, and then he, they knew more than they could know, you know. So
Well, I think in his case, with the guy Robin Williams, he actually had a type of dementia so he was losing his, so he wasn't losing his mind, but he had something else. He had a more serious one that was causing him physical pain all through his body. So I think he took his life because of the pain or whatever that he was going through, not because he really wanted to. But you do get some celebrities who just commit suicide and there's nothing wrong with them. I just can't think of a few now who did it. I don't know now.
Yeah.
Now you have to judge me. You don't really know me. You can just go, what do you think of my personality? These are not my questions, by the way. These are all
Okay.
planned.
So I think you're very outgoing because when I first met you, you even did not know me, but you're very energized, very. I guess that you are like this with every student.
Oh, I am actually. I speak the same way to all my students. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's fun to talk to someone like that because when you bring out like some topic of conversation, the conversation will get along very well and for a long time.
Yeah, I try. That's what I try to do. I try to talk people naturally first to see what they like and what happened during the week, and if something interesting, we could talk about that topic.
Yeah.
And if not, I'm always organized with my notes to make the class flow, and then it feels faster. But normally, Nicholas, I always used to say I was an introvert. So when I was a teenager, I was probably one of the quietest kids in my class, and everyone said I didn't talk. I only spoke to my good friends. There was 4 or 5 or 6 of them, and I wouldn't talk to anyone else.
Little group you had.
Yeah. But my friends used to get annoyed with each other, but I never got in arguments with my friends because I was just more relaxed or flexible. It was drinking beer changed it all, because when you're 18, drink a beer. I don't know why, because you're not afraid. I guess shyness is fear of people, because I'm quiet because I don't want to speak. You don't want to be judged. But when I drank beer, I just opened up and I could speak to everyone about everything. But here in Brazil, I don't really drink beer because I told you I get sick when I drink beer sometimes. So the coffee works and the MCT oil, I think that makes my brain work faster. Okay, now we're going to change the subject, the dark. Yes, we're jumping.
Wow.
Very different.
Wow, that's very extensive because I can think a lot of things,
Good.
I think the dark, it's kind of difficult. I think one of the times I've got like really scared running was when I went to a group of 4 people, and when we went to do a very long run, like almost like 20 kilometers, and then we passed through a hill that it's almost like 2 kilometers of hill, like just it's almost like this. If you like extend your arm, you almost can reach the ground. And it was pure darkness on this hill. Like
what were you running at nighttime?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we were at nighttime, and there were no any kind of lights.
Do you have to use headlamp or something? Because that'd be pretty dangerous.
We could only see because of the cars passing by.
Okay.
Because it was pure darkness, and I think it was one of the best runs I've had with this group of people, because when you get together and you go through like the fear, the pain you're feeling, and you share this feeling together, you create a very strong connection.
Yeah, good bond. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I think one of the times that I think about the dark would be this time.
Yeah, that's an interesting. Yeah, the first person that gave me that.
Because it's something that really can get you very scared, because you're not used to, you're like in the middle of nowhere, in the dark, tired.
Especially if you get left behind, if you're in last position. Where's everyone gone?
And I was in the last position. Sometimes I am always in the last position running,
I would be thinking of Jaguars or, the Onsa Parda.
It's the FOMO, right? The fear of missing out, because when you're running with a group of people and you're in the last place and you see they're getting away and you're tired and you don't want to stray away of them, the fear of missing out starts hitting, and it's you have to like control this, because there are sometimes you cannot push yourself, but just stay in the rhythm you are.
Sure. Yeah. Well, that's good. Keep pace. Yeah. You're race. You should be thinking you're racing against yourself because you're trying to be fit. Because it's not a real race, right? It's just about fitness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's training, you know.
The same with swimming. You know what? I thought I was learning to swim the last couple of weeks, so I can swim now. I couldn't swim now. I can swim. But I realized, I think some guys are afraid of being last, so they don't breathe. They're just going, and I'm going at my pace. And those guys are dying at the end. They're like,
Yeah,
and they can't do the last
yeah.
couple of laps.
I always try to control this because I always have this fear of like oh
The
no,
foam.
they're gonna abandon me. But no,
Okay.
they're like my group. They're not gonna abandon me. They never abandon me. It's like something that your brain purely creates, you know. So I know that I will keep my rhythm, my pace, and I'll reach and meta again with them, you know. So it's something purely from the brain.
Yeah, the weight. Yeah, that's what they train in when you're being a soldier, by the way. And that's why people like teamwork. They don't leave a man behind. They wait if someone's injured. Yeah,
You
that's what
know?
they train to get teamwork and a connection and a bond. That isn't actually fear of missing out, by the way. Fear of missing out is something different. FOMO, you know that word FOMO? That's
Yeah,
not fear. That's not fearing missing out. That's like more like fear of not being good enough or being left behind. Fear of missing out is like my friends are going to the concert. I better go because they're going to
yeah,
have fun.
that's
That's
true.
it. It's a different way of looking
That
at
is
it.
true. I think it would be similar. Are you afraid of the dark after this day? Never again.
I'm still afraid of the dark, but it depends where you are.
I,
You know,
wa- I, wa- I was never like very afraid of the dark. It was when I was a child, you know, like I had to sleep on the dark. But this is like something that only childs do. But I think after this time we trained together, and it's purely dark that you cannot see anything. Like you can't see what you're stepping in. You can only see what
yeah, that's kind of dangerous, though. I think
yeah, it is dangerous because
you
there
could
would
twist your ankle or something if you can't see. That's why I think it's dangerous to run in the dark. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, and you can only see by the lights of the car, so it's very different, you know. So
But
after this day, I never got scared again of even running alone or even running in the dark. So
I think it's scary though where you live. So the thing is, in Ireland, I walked home in the dark before from the town because it was like a taxi strike or something. What scared me, we have a grotto. A grotto is like in Ireland, because Ireland's a Catholic country, a lot of towns and villages have
yeah,
these, we call them grottos, but what they are, they're places with a statue of Nossa Senora. But it's kind of scary because you see this dark area and there's a light under Nossa Senora. You're like, oh no, is she going to come alive?
yeah,
But
yeah.
in Ireland, I'm less afraid, but I would be afraid of the dark in Brazil. I'm more afraid
In
like
Brazil, you have to be afraid of the dark
in
because
Sao
it's
Paulo,
almost
there's
like
nothing.
a defense mechanism, you know, to
Exactly.
wow, you have to get out of here now.
Exactly. And I have that fear coming back from my gym. So if I walk to my gym, it's not so far away. There's two ways of going. If I walk down the streets, it's 30 minutes. If I take a shortcut and I go down an exit from the motorway, okay? But it's really dark on that exit and it's really rare cars pass by. Might get one car passing or a motorbike, and it's scary going back down there. I hate it.
Yeah, it is.
Um, but it's the shortcut to my neighborhood. And I met someone once. I was like, oh no, who's this guy? You just see this shadow. So this dark figure walking up the hill. And I was like, oh, this guy's like 6'5", like 1 meter 86 or something.
Wow,
And I'm looking at this tall
it's a
guy.
huge guy.
And when I saw him coming up, I was like, who the hell is this? And who was he? He was my niece's ex-boyfriend. Out of all the people I met, I hadn't seen him in 2 years. And I was like, this guy's
Wow,
like he's broad as well, and he scared me. And I was like,
very huge.
"Oh,
You know, and,
Gabrielle, it's
funny,
you."
very funny.
Yeah,
Yeah, but there are some times that the you have to be really afraid of because you can be in a very risk situation. But there are some times that you just like this. Well, there was no one that could like rob us because the place
mhm.
we were was uh, very different. No one would like try to rob us on a very inclinated hill, you know, and
Mhm.
we just were training, so we didn't have nothing. So you just have to push through the fear, you know. So and
Yeah, I do
after
the same.
everything passed, everything
I
was
don't
okay.
feel, I don't feel fear anymore either when I walk in that dark area. I do think about something can happen. I go, this is illogical. It's in Daituba. There's a small area. No one's going to pass me by. I'll be okay.
Yeah,
Nothing
that's true.
happened.
Yeah.
Why do you think people are afraid of the dark? Do you think it's instinct? I think it's part of it genetics.
Something involving like, oh no, there are some spirits here watching me that can get me, you know,
Sure, I used to think that way too as a kid.
or
But look,
something like gonna get me and kill me.
but think about it. I think this is human instinct because in the past we
Yeah,
were hunter-gatherers. The lions or wolves could have killed us in the dark. Our rival tribe would attack us in the dark when we're
yeah,
sleeping. So I think it's just natural that we have that fear. We have to tell ourselves, no, it's fine.
yeah.
Um, but I don't get fear now. I don't think we have time to ask another question because there's only 8 seconds.
Okay.
So Nicholas, it was a nice talking to you again.
Thank you, Cormac. See you next week.
Yeah, and you got a lot of work. Do dual end back today.